So you have a very pretentious name there, especially for someone who apparently understands very little about how the world works. And I say that because, you claim to have this great background in debating and arguing, and while that may be great preparation if you want a career as a lawyer, that is no preparation at all if you want to be a scientist. You know why? Because scientists don't argue. They don't argue that way. They don't debate that way. There is evidence. Testimony and argument is completely inadmissible in the court of science. The only thing that matters in science is the evidence and the math. The rest is all bullshit, all right? So maybe someday you'll be a lawyer and you can be satisfied with being a great lawyer and arguing and more power to you. But just stay out of science because you don't have a fucking clue, all right? You don't have a fucking clue about science. You should get the lawyers out of science, and that means you and everyone like you. You've got no business spouting off about environmentalism when you don't have the first fucking clue what climate change is all about or the evidence that supports it, all right? The other thing, the economy and capitalism. Another thing, not being a scientist, how could I expect you to understand any of the nuances involved in economics? Economics is, for all intents and purposes, another science. It's a science. The people who do it well treat it as a science. All right? The people who do it lousy treat it as a philosophy. I don't give a flying fuck about philosophy. Philosophy is fucking meaningless to me. I don't care about any of that shit. All right? Maybe it's interesting. Maybe it's entertaining. But when it comes to science, philosophy is just fucking beyond the point. Who gives a shit about why things are the way they are? Science says this is how things are. We have the evidence and the math. We make predictions, and it matches. All right? And a scientist does not concern himself with philosophy except as entertainment. All right? Some of the most important scientific principles have got absolutely no philosophical foundation at all. Quantum mechanics is a philosophical enigma. It's something that we just can't solve. We have no fucking clue what's going on underneath quantum mechanics. There's no philosophical basis for it whatsoever. But quantum mechanics is scientific fact, all right? Because there's math and there's evidence, all right? And that's what we need for science. Not argument, not philosophy, not ideology. Nothing you could argue about, all right? Testimony is completely inadmissible in the court of science, all right? And lawyers like you would just have nothing to talk about, all right? So, if you please, shut the fuck up. That's all.